And the Institute of Fiscal Studies, IFS, is questioning the decision by government to issue a 50-year century bond to fund infrastructure projects in the country, despite the creation of the Ghana Infrastructure Fund. According to the Institute, it is not appropriate for government to keep the fund while borrowing to finance other infrastructural projects.
The Institute of Fiscal Studies, IFS, has joined the call for government to rethink its decision on the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, established by the previous government to finance major infrastructure projects in the country. The Financial Policy Group believes the move by government to borrow for infrastructure is out of place since funds have already been allocated in the budget. Director of Research at the IFS, Dr. John Kwachi, has been addressing the media in a pre-budget interaction in Accra.
At this juncture, we want to draw attention to the fact that there also exists the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, which received initial seeded capital of $250 million, and we are wondering why it does appear that the fund is not playing its original role of serving as a source of funding a diversified portfolio of infrastructure projects to promote national development. Because we think that creating parallel systems, as it appears is being done, stands the risk of inefficiency and also being counterproductive.
On the upcoming 2019 budget, IFS is arguing that government must review many of its policies on industrialization due to lack of funds. Senior fellow at the IFS, Dr. Said Boachi, said if care is not taken, the country could head back to high debt.
The programs and initiatives are too many. You could see, you saw it. And some of them are too grandiose. Because of that, they require very large amounts of funding. The question is, how can the government fund these numerous and grandiose programs and initiatives, given that, one, the country is on a fiscal consolidation path? Two, the government revenue has consistently fallen short of initial budget since 2012. And three, the subject we have talked about several times, there is presently no available free fiscal space. Since three rigid expenditure items in the forms of yearly expenditure, compensation of employees, and debt service expenditure have consistently exceeded total revenue and grants since 2013.
The IFS also indicated that if government had few industrial programs, there would be no need for the 50 billion century bond.
As part of measures to boost confidence in the insurance industry and deal with the prevalence of fraudulent insurance tickets, the National Insurance Commission, NLC, has begun moves to launch an electronic platform to check the menace. This was disclosed by the Deputy Commissioner of the NLC, Michael Kofiando, during the rebranding ceremony of Equity Assurance to Sunu Assurance.
The service is expected to be the database for all motor insurance products in the country. Known as the Electronic Motor Insurance Database, the platform will assist the regulator to monitor and scan the various motor insurance policies in the country, as well as address the challenge of non-claim payment by insurance companies. Speaking at the official unveiling of Sunu Assurance, Deputy Commissioner of National Insurance Commission, Michael Ando, said the platform will help authorities check the authenticity of motor insurance tickets.
The NIC is also planning to build an electronic claims management system to help monitor and enforce compliance with the claims management guidelines. To further boost confidence and stem the tide of fraudulent motor insurance stickers, the NIC is planning to implement the electronic motor insurance database by early 2019. This will be an electronic platform to house all motor insurance policies. The police, the public, and relevant government agencies will have access to confirm the authenticity of motor insurance policies. This will make it easy for the police to ensure that all vehicles plying our roads are appropriately insured. It will also make it possible for passengers to verify whether commercial vehicles are properly insured before they board such vehicles.
Chief Executive of Sunu Assurance, Adeyemi Adetuwo, has been explaining to Joy Business in an interview on the idea behind the rebranding.
No brand, it's a global brand. Because of their presence in almost 14 African countries, they often that let's align with their identity and brand, to take us to the next level. So, as I said, they are already in 14 African countries. So we don't want to be a local player. That's why we decided to align with them to be an African player, a continental player, as against a local player.
Does it have anything to do with the minimum capital requirement?
No, not really. No. The association started about 3 years ago, and it doesn't have anything to do with it at all. We just feel at least we need to position ourselves. We need to position ourselves. It has nothing to do with it. They have been with us for the past 3 years.
Sunu Assurance is a member of the Sunu Group operating in Africa for the past 10 years. Frank Dion is an executive director.
The assets under management is around 750 million US dollar, both spread into bonds, equities, loans, cash, and real estate. As you know, for Sunu Assurance, our job is insurance. And our vision as a group is to be the reference in every country we are operating. To be the reference does not mean that we want to be number one of the market anyhow and at any cost. We want to be recognized as professional, reliable people, reliable partner we wish to do business with.
Sunu Assurance Ghana is planning to introduce more initiatives to increase insurance penetration in the country.
Let's do some other stories, and shoppers are likely to enjoy up to 80% discount on items as online retail marketer Jumia launches this year's edition of Black Friday. Black Friday is one of the biggest shopping events in the year's calendar, where stores slash their prices massively for shoppers ahead of the festive season. Speaking to Joy Business after the launch of this year's Black Friday by Jumia, the co-CEO for Jumia Ghana, Ori Odasanya, said there are about 50,000 items up for grabs.
This year's Black Friday is set for 23rd of November. Across the world, the day is marked with massive discounts on various items in shops. Back here in Ghana, the Jumia Black Friday campaign is the largest online sale event with millions of products, hotel and flight deals, as well as food deals available throughout the period. Ore Odusanya is the co-CEO of Jumia Ghana.
Specifically for Black Friday, we're committing to offer at least 50,000 super deals on the platform. Now, what do we define as super deals? We define super deals as amazing products, amazing prices, authentic products from a wide range of brands. Now, we're going to have brands that customers are very familiar with. The products that we're offering will range from everything from men's fashion to women's fashion. You'll be able to get TVs, you'll be able to get large appliances, so your fridges, your freezers, your washing machines, your laptops, your phones. Today we have 22 categories on Jumia, so we would expect, or customers should expect, that our 50,000 super deals will range across these categories.
According to the CEO of Jumia Africa, Massimiliano Spalazzi, with a high level of e-commerce growth in Ghana, they are confident of very high patronage this year.
And last year in Black Friday, I think in around 3 weeks' time, we delivered more than 100,000 packages only in Accra. So again, 100,000 packages only in Accra, and that was last year. This year, we plan to do it much, much bigger than that. And this gets me to the second point of the traction of e-commerce in Ghana and in general of the online platforms in Ghana. I think in the last year we saw an incredible growth and interest from Ghanaians on our platform. This is very good, and it keeps on growing every day.
With the anticipated high patronage, the online marketer said they have partnered Ghana Post to improve deliveries. This year's Jumia Black Friday will begin from November 16 and end on December 7.
You're still watching Business Live. We are back after this break. Welcome back, and if you just joined us, you're watching Business Live on Joy News. To other stories now. At age 14, he founded a company that made a first-year profit of £20,000. 2 years later, at age 16, he developed a software for the British Health Service that earned him an official letter of congratulations from the then British Prime Minister. Upon his arrival in Ghana after a formal invitation from the government, he founded a software development house where he specialized in a public sector computerization. This week on your Thought Leadership Show, the Executive Lounge, your host Inshirado engages IT specialist, musician and technical director at the Soft Tribe Limited, David Kwamena Bolton, on technology and more.
Now technology has infused every aspect of life. You know, that you can't do anything now without, you know, being on the internet, without having a smartphone. You know, everything you touch, the car you drive, it's all computer controlled now. Your microwave, your cooker, everything, you know, everything now has some embedded coding, you know, which basically determines how the equipment is going to operate. So it's important now that we need to break away from that traditional thinking. You know, it's not about teaching people how to be masons or teaching people home economics. Fine, it's important, but look at where the world is going. You know, if you're not computer literate now, you're not going to find a job. That's the reality of it. You know, you're not going to get a job. Even if you want to be a mechanic now, you have to understand how to diagnose a car's ECU. Which requires a computer. Yeah, it requires a computer. Yeah. You see the thing. So instead of us just being content with being users, why can't we be the creators of this technology? It's a shame that our political system, you know, seems to be, there's this 4-year cycle where, you know, the first year is consolidating your gains. You just come into power, so it's blaming the previous government for all the mistakes they made. Second year, you're trying to actually do something. Third year, you're gearing up for the elections, and the fourth year is just campaigning. So there's no real thought to a long-term strategy. You know, that's a real problem.
All right, so watch the full episode of The Best Minds on the Executive Lounge this Saturday at 6 p.m. on Joy News channel on Multi TV and channel 421 on DSTV, with a repeat broadcast on Sunday actually at 8 p.m. And so Charles joins me back in the studio. But before we go, the third edition of Joy FM's Corporate Jam comes off tonight at the Soho Bar at Airport City here in Accra. Dubbed the Coupe Edition, some of my colleagues, including my boss, M. Morrison, have been secretly practicing their dance moves in the Joy Business Newsroom. Hopefully, I don't lose my job after airing this video. Charles, you missed out. So please do join us right after your work when you close from work at the Soho Bar at Airport City. But that's how we wrap up tonight on Business Live. Thanks so much for watching. Do enjoy your weekend. My name is Sandra Isenamath, and I've been here with
Charles Aite.